Good evening, stampers. Back here again for another Monday night. I believe we are on episode 25 of Make It With Me Monday. That is like really hard for me to fathom that we've been getting together this long on a Monday night to get some fun inky things done. Hopefully you got the supply list that you saw on the Facebook page, and I'll be showing it to you again in just a minute in case you are catching this later. Wait for a few more people to hop on here, but I wanted to go through and show you guys. I posted a few of these already. Hi, Karen. And I want to share a few more that I got since I did that last post. As you know, it's been my birthday month so far in August. If you're keeping track, my actual birthday is this Friday, the 20th. So I'm expecting a few more cards to pop in this week because it's actually my actual birthday week this time. That's my brother texted me this morning. He wished me a happy birthday week. So my best friend's mom, Nancy, loves to use her computer to create. So she has this giant card that she would have created on her with computer image. I thought that was really fun. Use of color, and there'll be a lot of candles on that birthday cake this year, everybody. That's for darn sure. I shared this one that came from Carol. Really pretty background paper there. Thank you, Carol. And this one from Ruth. I know this is some new product that she got recently. Hi, thanks, Mary Lynn. It's back in the accessory section. It's gold. I'm gonna have to look up the name for it for you guys. But makes really pretty accents. They're these thin die cut shapes, little leaves and other things, and really pretty accents. So thank you very much, Ruth, for that. And I want to point out too, if anybody has their personalized little thingy, I always love to see that on the back. So this card I got recently, it was actually before my birthday, but I'm going to count it Candy because it was it came from Candy Skiba, and she did one of the, it's perfect, it's a square card, which is always kind of fun, and then it's got that really fun flap fold that we've done before on one of these evenings. Hi, Carol, good to see you tonight. And then this one I got from Karen, who's actually here joining us tonight, who's all the way down in Florida. This one was really pretty, and I love what you did with the embossing folder here. If I'm going to guess, Karen, I think you inked up the folder and then sent it through so that some of it's colored and some of it stayed white. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I have to point out, Karen always has the best handwriting because she I basically retired now. So it was a teacher, and I always love like your handwriting, and you must have the best like chalkboards ever. And I got this one today from Aunt Mary. Well, my husband's Aunt Mary, so there you go. Embossing folders have been used on a couple of the layers, some real fun graphic paper. Thank you guys so much for sending me cards this month. I can't wait to see what other ones are headed their way. Or headed my way, I should say. Okay, so let me give you guys a quick overview. I hope you understood the concept of things tonight. So if you don't have your stuff cut and ready and you want to just watch, totally fine. I was hoping you understood what color blocking meant and if I described it the right way. And if not, like I said, whatever you've gotten together, I'm sure is going to be beautiful. And then you can always take this layout and jump off from here with it. All right, so you should have a piece of neutral cardstock. We're going to go the long way. So it's 4 1/4 by 11, and it's scored at 5 1/2. I'm going to be using our thick basic white paper. And then you should have another neutral piece that's 2 by 3 1/2. This is the part we're going to be stamping on, so keep that handy for a minute. And then I said grab some dark cardstock. So that could be anything that's going to set off your other colors really well. So my sample tonight is going to use black, and then I'm going to show you, oh good, Karen, I thought that had that technique down, right? That's a really fun one. I should probably show you guys that too in a video sometime. I think we've done it in a class, but I need to get that on video. Okay, so I said dark. I'm going to be using black, so you should have a piece that's 4 1/8 by 5 1/4, and then another piece that's 2 1/8 by 3 5/8. So again, dark could be anything that fits tone-wise in with your colors, but is steps darker than what you've used. So you could think dark brown, black, navy, probably even a deep, like a cherry red, cobbler, that sort of thing, depending on what color blockings you're using. All right, and then you want 3 different sized color blocks, and you could use all cardstock, designer series paper, combinations. I'm going to show you a little bit of each. So I'm going to be using, for my 2 by 4 piece, I have Petal Pink. For my 2 by 3 piece, I have Flirty Flamingo. And for my 1 7/8 by 3, I have Cherry Cobbler. Okay, so those are my 3 right there. So let's get started with our stamping. So grab your 2 by 3.5 piece and we're going to use that vertically. I'm going to be using tonight Painted Poppies. And for my phrase, I'm going to take it from Best Year. And I think I used Best Year last week or the week before as well. These are both in the annual catalog. Best Year is on page 103. Painted Poppies is on page 24. All right, I'm going to start with my phrase so that I make sure I get it straight, because if I don't, I have a chance to flip it over and try again. This is always hard for me on camera because I don't want to lean over too far and get my head blocking the path there. So I'm just going to make sure I'm lined up with my straight edges here and see how I do. Oh, let's make sure it's not the right, okay. Definitely don't want to be stamping upside down. So my idea is to have a phrase near the bottom and then image at the top. You of course do whatever you're doing to your piece. You can decorate your 2 by 3.5 piece any way you like. So I'm going to take my Flirty Flamingo then, and I'm going to stamp the background of the flower. And I also said to have some ribbon handy. We're going to need about 9 inches depending on if you're going to be tying it in a knot. You'll need a little more if you want a bow, or a little less if you just want the bow to go around. So I'll show you what I mean by that. All right, so I'm going to take my Flirty Flamingo, and that's going to go near the top with my flower. And this space in the middle is where our ribbon's going to end up going. All right, and then my Petal Pink, I'm going to be using the splotchy image, but I'm going to stamp it off so it's nice and pale. So I'm going to stamp once on my background card, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm having one of those days, guys. I always say that, they have a thing called pregnancy brain. Like you can just kind of like forget your words, kind of whatever. I'm pretty convinced, and hopefully this isn't a little too much TMI, but I'm pretty convinced there's a menopause brain as well. And that in some days, the words are there and they're there. They're just not coming out right. All right, so I'm going to take Cherry Cobbler for my layer up top here. And I like this one because it doesn't have to be perfect. So there you go. All right, there is my 2 by 3.5 piece. That is going to get layered onto that dark. Now, since we went dark, I'm going to remove this so that you can see better what I'm doing. So you're going to grab your dark. That's the 2 1/8. Get my measurements back out, by 3 5/8. Okay, and we're going to adhere that right on there. Oop. All right, like so. Okay, now this is where you're going to be using your ribbon. I cut a piece, like I said, it's about 9 inches long, and my goal is to have it wrap around and tie in a knot in the middle here. You'll need more ribbon, obviously, if you want to do that into a bow, or if you just want to take this and make a tiny bow and just put it in between here, that's your, that would be another option for that as well. So I'm going to tie my knot right there. I'm just going to do a basic square knot, and I always like to pull this nice and tight in the opposite direction, and I can kind of keep one finger down here while I'm manipulating the other. Now, this is a wider ribbon, and when I'm using the wider ribbons, I usually like to bend or twist or fold it. Hopefully you can kind of see that. So it's a little skinnier, and it's going to be easier for me to push through because I don't have as much of it to grab onto when it comes out the other side. And it will untwist, unbend, unfold like that once you've got it through. So that's just a little tip. If you've got a really, really wide ribbon, don't be afraid to manipulate it a little bit while you're trying to work with it. It will go back to the way it's supposed to be as far as width-wise, and it just makes it a little easier to work with. All right, I'm just gonna trim down my ribbon edges a little bit, like so. Okay. All right, that piece is done. For now, I'm just gonna set it to the side. Here we're gonna be doing our color blocking part. So you're gonna wanna take your other dark layer that's a little bit larger, and then grab your 3 blocks of color. Your 2 by 4 piece is gonna go across the top. Then your 2 by 3 piece, is that my 2 by 3 piece? No, this one's my 2 by 3 piece. My 2 by 3 piece is gonna go into this corner. And my 1 7/8 by 3 is going to go into this corner. So as you can see, it leaves a little border around each edge, each block, and that's why you want to pick something that's a little bit darker to pop those colors off. You could do the concept the other way, where if you have darker colors, use white behind, and then instead of a white layer for your card base, do a dark color. So you'd have the white showing through the dark colors in the opposite concept. All right, so let's adhere those down. So there's my 2 by 4 piece. And again, it's a very skinny border. So line that up so that you see just a tiny little bit of an edge. And remember, your wider piece goes on the left. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. Both of these pieces will finish off the bottom. So my thought is the wider one for the left. You are, of course, welcome to do whatever you like with yours. It didn't even occur to me to flip-flop the other way until just now. So, all right, get that settled in there. Okay, then you're gonna need your card base. So again, take your neutral piece, that's 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. Give yourself a nice fold, or a nice burnish on that fold. Make sure you've got that flap open the right direction. Always a good idea to have the card open the right way. All right, we're gonna adhere this part. And again, there should just be an even-ish border. There's a little bit more top to bottom than there is side to side, but it's very, very minuscule difference. So it still should pretty much look centered once you're done. All right, then you have the choice. You can either put it directly on, toed there, or you can raise it up with dimensionals. Of course, I love dimension. So I'm actually gonna use our black dimensionals, which I often forget to remind you guys are in there. So instead of a white foam core, they have a black foam core. And when you're using dark cardstocks, it's kind of nice because you don't always, especially if it's close to an edge of something, you can't necessarily see it there. So once I get these white papers off, you'll be able to see better what I'm talking about. Because at least they left the paper white, so you can easily find it again. So look, they blend in so much nicer, and when you see it from the side, all you see is dark. So those are fun too. They come in big, the large size and the small size together in the same pack. So you get an assortment of each one. All right, and then we are just gonna pop that down right there. And that is as simple as that one gets. Now what I love about this is that you can play, of course, with, like I said, color. You could do more of a monochromatic. You can do things by, I'll show you as I go through my samples. You see I've done some things with embossing folders. I've added DSP into parts of it. So it's a really fun way to play around with the layout using small pieces, because nothing is wider than a 2-inch strip there. So you're just using little bits of cardstock. Now I'm going to show you where I got the inspiration from. I was going through a bunch of old samples and I came across this one. This one, I can't even tell you anymore what the stamp set is. I'm pretty sure this is Barely Banana, if anybody remembers that. Not sure what color green this was, I don't remember. It might be Mellow Moss. And then I used to love our colored gingham ribbons. Like I kind of totally missed those. They're so cute. But anyway, it struck me, this layout struck me. I love the way it was put together. It's one I received as a swap at an event. From another demonstrator, but I love the layout, I love the concept, so I just adapted it for tonight. So first I'll show you the ways I stepped this version up. So again, this version had cardstock all around, just plain cardstock. So the next step up I did is I took each of those layers and I ran it through an embossing folder. I used our new, okay, I'm gonna have to look up the name of it, but it's the one that has like the wood grain inside. I'm hoping the camera is gonna be able to pick this up. It's very fine detail, and hopefully it's picking that up. Otherwise, when I post these, I will make sure to point out what page number that's on. It's in the heartfelt thanks. Thank you, Mary Lynn. Yes, that's probably it. Like I said, it's been a while since I've come across that one. So it's in the mini catalog on page 37. It's called Timber embossing folder, and it looks like wood grain and knots and stuff like that. So that one is there. And then I took the next level and I did all Designer Series papers, but I kept the color scheme by using the color families of Designer Series paper. And then I obviously picked the same color. So the Petal, the Flamingo, and the Cobbler in the same pattern. There's another way to do that. You can mix up the patterns, something like that. So that's the way I stepped this one up. It's got the exact same layout, same dimensions, nothing extra, except what I did to the layers themselves. So plain cardstock, embossed cardstock, and then 3 types of Designer Series paper. All right, then I'll show you a couple other versions. Those, of course, all had the black background. So like when I said think of dark, you can think of a couple options. So this is one I did with espresso as the background. So this has Crumb Cake, Soft Succulent, and Evening Evergreen. And the Beauty of Friendship stamp set is on page 11 of the annual catalog. And then here you can see too, instead of the ribbon all the way around, since my image is a little longer, I decided to just put a tiny bow. into the space in between the tree, because the tree actually comes down and goes in the middle of my phrase and everything else. So, so there again, it's the dark brown sets off all of those colors really nicely. And then of course the espresso is on the back of that. And this is also vanilla, not white, because I thought it blended in better with that color palette. All right, and here's another one I did with the Daisy Lane stamp set, which is on page 37. This has the white base again, but it has Night of Navy as the dark instead of black. And then this is Misty Moonlight, So Saffron, and Bumblebee. And then I used our Bumblebee gingham ribbon, and then the navy and the Bumblebee inks. So again, that's Daisy Lane, and that is on page 37 of the annual catalog. And then if you watched on my Facebook page this week, I showed you guys a bunch of swaps I was doing, and here is the end result. So you saw this partially in progress. I used my blends to color in my tree, and then this would be Early Evergreen, Cherry Cobbler, and then this designer series paper is Sweet Stockings, which is on page 31 of the mini catalog. And then this stamp set is Be Jolly from page 29. It also has a couple Santa images, but I think that little tree is so stinking cute. And then that star is a separate stamp, and I actually cut it out and popped it up. I added some Wink Stella to the ornaments, make them shine a little bit. Hopefully that's showing up in there. And then this black gingham ribbon is actually in the mini catalog. It's back with some of the Halloween items, I believe. But I thought the black there brought in the black from the background and kind of made that pop out as well. So this Sweet Stockings ones, that's the one that have the dogs and the cats and the stockings, but some of the background or the back side of the DSPs are just plain patterns. And I love, this is my favorite one out of the bunch, and I'm going to probably be really, really, really stingy with it because it's so cute, and I wish I had a whole pack just of that. I just love those little lights. All right, let me get these laid out a little bit so hopefully you can kind of see all of them. I will, of course, post these on my Facebook page after we, I was going to say hang up, but you get the idea. After we disconnect tonight, I will do my photos and upload the videos and stuff. So there you go. Color blocking is a really fun layout, really easy to do, puts together really quick, and it's so simple when you stick to just the colors that really sets them off. I mean, you don't need a whole lot of extra. We have beautiful colors to use. So think of some of your favorite color combinations. Check your, what's really nice, what's fun to do is to go around your house, look at like your rugs, your pillows, your bed sheets, and then into your closet. Check out the patterns on your blouses and dresses, and you'll find like colors that speak to you, and then you can play with those and put them together, and you go, oh, you know what, I really like these colors together, and what can I do with that? So you'll notice as you just look through your decor even what things you might be drawn to for color schemes. So I also have a board on my Pinterest page that has, I believe it's called Color Inspiration, and there's all kinds of color combinations posted there, so feel free to check that out. I'll put a link in the video post tonight so you can see some of those there as well. All right, everybody, that should wrap it up for me tonight. Keep an eye on the Facebook page this week. There'll be some more birthday fun culminating in the Big 5-0 on Friday, but actually I will take the celebration all the way through the end of the month. But the Big 5-0 is actually this Friday, and I'm looking forward to spending time. We have one of our nephews coming over for part of the week and one of our nieces for the rest of the weekend, so we'll be having some extra fun family time, and it's going to be really great. Let's cross fingers that the weather holds out because we want to be up at the lake and enjoying that lovely, lovely view. So, all right, everybody, have a great evening, and I will see you again next Monday. Bye.